So let's fly the F-15C Golden Eagles to see what it's actually capable of. Is it worth to actually, have this BR increase to fire M120C5s and fly with the IASA? Well, let's take a look, right? But before we get to it, right? What should you grind first when you get this vehicle, okay? So guys, there is two possibilities here, but I think the major one is focus on offensive stuff. So you can focus on the BOLs and everything, but I would try to maintain the line of thinking of getting the M120C5 as quickly as possible. After you get that, BOLs, of course, if you didn't already, and of course, then you get performance. So weapons, defense, performance. And then, of course, later you can get the offensive armament over here of the gun, and then the air-to-ground stuff. This is going to be the best way for you to grind this aircraft. Also, I would advise you guys to never use your conformal fuel tanks. Okay, it just takes it out of your performance. Just take normal M120s over here, as you can see, of course, the C model. And also, you have to remind yourself to take 2 AIM-9s. I would always take 2 AIM-9s. You can take the drop tanks or not, it depends on your personal preference, but this would be perfect loadout for an air battle, in my opinion. BOLs, 6 M120C5s, 2 AIM-9s. That's the perfect one. And by the way, guys, you can take whatever you want over here in the terms of flares and chaff, because even without the BOLs, you already take like a lot of flares and chaff. If you have the BOLs, man, you have an infinite amount, okay? With the fuel tanks, I would take probably around 20 minutes. Maybe it is too much. I'm gonna take it down to like 15 just to see how it feels. But yeah. And what is going to be the objective over here, guys? As you can see, you have one of the best raiders in the game. And what we're gonna do is that you have less performance than a lot of the top tiers, okay? You will have less performance than the Autofighter, less performance than the Rafale, and you will have probably less performance climbing than the F-15E. But everything else, you should be okay. And apparently there is some form of fix that they are looking into it, that this thing might actually get a buff on the regards of turn capability, okay? Another thing, guys, you don't need, if you are an American main, for example, and you never used an IASA raider, because this is the first IASA raider that they have in the game, you don't need to keep using a narrow search pattern, okay? You can use a larger one, and the raider will do the rest, okay? It's just fast enough that you can do that. I would still climb, of course, and get 1 to 2 missiles out, okay? It's gonna be kind of a Hail Mary over here. It's not really a realistic shot that you can get a kill in, but it's still very good to keep a shot out just to see. I mean, if the target doesn't pay attention, he's gonna get killed, okay? And we crank to the left. I always crank to the left because, obviously, I need to maintain a position near the friends over here. Since we are being shot, I'm not gonna maintain the lock there. I'm gonna deploy chaff, of course. And I'm gonna do a reverse over here. And deploy a lot of chaff, because we probably have our 77-1s, M120C5s coming. We maintain the speed. We do the reverse over here. I think we're fine. And you gotta ignore the missile that you fired. If you get the kill, if he gets the kill, it gets the kill. If he doesn't get the kill, it doesn't get the kill. It doesn't matter. And we're gonna try to find other targets. And this is flying high tactics, okay? I'm gonna do another match later, just to show to you guys how I would probably flying low. But I honestly don't like too much of flying low with this thing. That guy's dead, okay. I have another one here. So we fire 2 targets at 2 targets there. We're gonna crank to the right now a little bit, which can be dangerous, but we're just gonna wait for the actual lock of the radar seeker of the missiles. One of them is being a little bit annoying and not getting a proper lock. Yeah, there we go. Got locks. I'm passing out. So I fired another one, and I will maintain a positive position. I like to say, right, that I'm just kind of aggressive and firing my missiles. I might die here because of the missile. I'm way too close to this target. A lot of countermeasures. I still have plenty of fuel with the fuel tanks. So, yeah. As you can see, I think I got 2 kills. One of them just didn't die yet. But this is how I would play with this aircraft at the beginning stages of the match, okay? There are targets over here. I'm not going to go aggressive again, guys. There is at least 2 targets behind me that are kind of near me. And sorry if the radar and everything, it's kind of weird. It's just frame gen, okay? For some reason, it's doing that. Hopefully, they fix soon. It's not a big problem. I just prefer to use frame gen than not use it. So I think we're fine. I think we only got 1 kill. I honestly thought I hit the Su-30. Maybe no. Maybe not. So I gotta be careful here. I'm still pretty heavy with the aircraft. The aircraft feels heavy because of the fuel tanks. So yeah, there you go. This is one of the targets that were flying around near me before, right? And yeah, only 1 kill. Only 1 kill. I thought I had another kill coming towards me. We have 2 targets. Oh, that's why. I hit the Su-30, but it wasn't enough for a kill, right? The missile is not coming towards me. We don't have a lot of targets. I'm gonna just fire now. It's just picking targets that are flying very close to friendly, so you gotta be careful. And that guy is dead, probably. And guys, that's kind of how I like to fly, right? I might die here. No. My God, this thing feels heavy. There you go. Safe. It feels very, very heavy, guys. It feels like you are in a boat, basically, right? Which is fine. So, no more missiles. A lot of countermeasures. And we're going to try to attack this target. There you go. I think we got him. Oh, almost got me, but yeah, there we go. So, that's the last guy. We're just going to confirm the kill. And there you go. So this is how I would fly the F-15C Golden Eagle. Be careful with the weight of the aircraft with fuel, because it feels very heavy, okay? Not as much as the F-15E, but, you know, you're taking a lot of missiles, you're taking a lot of fuel, so just be careful. So let's get to another one with a different strategy. If you don't like to fly high, this is how I fly high, okay? But I really wanted to show how I would fly low. Like I said, I kind of don't like to fly low, but yeah. And now, guys, we're going to try to fly low, okay? You can use, by the way, the TWS HDN to get a little bit more, more range. As you can see, it can get, like, more than 100 kilometers. Honestly, it's not really needed. If you go to TWS here, I am not detecting them, but it's not like I'm going to attack them from 90 to 100 kilometers anyway, right? So it doesn't matter too much. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is a normal strategy as well. Because remember, this is an aircraft that it's kind of a jack of all trades. It's not an aircraft that it's particularly going to be better than the Eurofighter in a certain specific thing. It's just going to do its job generally well, okay? On the game. That's my idea on how this F-15 feels, right? You still, you know, have a lot of performance. You have amazing missiles, amazing radar, but it's not gonna like be better than an Eurofighter in a dogfight. That's what I mean, right? And even in the BVR, it's not gonna do better than the Eurofighter in the BVR. But I mean, it might because the radar is better. But in the terms of performance and putting that missile in the best possible scenario of a launch, it cannot do that compared to an Eurofighter, right? So, but it does the job well enough that it can, you know, do every single type of gameplay style and fly very well, right? So what we're gonna do here, instead of going straight to the enemy, we're gonna do kind of a side crank over here, flying very low to the ground. Be careful on enemies firing missiles, of course, so you do need to fly very low to the ground over here. And you can fire some chaff and flares and everything, but there is a missile coming towards me over here. So I'm just gonna maintain a very low altitude. I might die over here. Oh. There you go. We're gonna just keep flying very low to the ground, maintaining. There you go. Maintaining the multipath altitude, okay, which can be difficult in a map such as this, but it's still good enough. As you can see, multiple missiles coming towards me. As you can see, so I need to maintain flying low. That's why I don't like flying low, okay? But you do this, and targets will start to appear. That guy didn't get the kill. We're gonna turn. And you're gonna just fire at targets of opportunity. That's kinda how it is, right? A target came from behind. I didn't see it. That's why I don't like it, right? Too much flying low. But you can basically just over-push them, flying very low to the ground, so that you can keep flying, firing your missiles and being kind of in an aggressive position, okay? So this is the way that I would fly. Of course, I just didn't realize there was a target behind me. It was probably way too aggressive, but this is how I would kind of fly, okay? So hopefully that helps you. Fly high, best possible scenario, my opinion. But you can fly low. It just takes a little bit more skill, in my opinion, if you want to be aggressive. You can be not aggressive and just fly to the sides and then, you know, attack targets of opportunity there as well. But to be honest, this aircraft needs to be present in the game. It's an aircraft that really likes to be aggressive, okay? So basically, this is the F-15C Golden Eagle. This is how I would fly. See you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, be a member, be a patron. Bye.